Welcome to the podcast of the impossible. I'm Peter Wood, and my guest today has performed at the White House, the DC Improv, the Vice President's Mansion, and my basement. One of those is not like the other. I'm talking with the great Zucchini. There you go.
Hey everybody, hey guys. Thanks for having me in, Peter.
I'm sure my basement was a highlight of your career.
I put it on my bucket. I put it on my bucket list.
It's on
early on in life.
Yeah. So it was funny. It was really strange being on the other side of that coin because, you know, I've done plenty of birthday parties, in my career, and I know you and I have talked about it, and it was interesting to be like the homeowner father on that side of the relationship, where I'm looking around trying to figure out certain areas in the house that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that you really are good at, or that you certainly you preach on, is the customizing of the space to limit those distractions and the sort of elements that might pull a kid away from the show.
Yeah. So, a lot of times, I walk in and a parent will have just an idea of, best space, and they may decorate it with balloons and streamers and they're like, I thought you might want to do it right here. And my whole thing is, and parents don't know, like it's up to us to teach them. Like most of the parents, whatever they do for work, they might be lawyers or doctors or artists or whatever they do. I don't know the first thing about. So I would never, want to tell them about, obviously what they do for a living. So when I go in, luckily, I think most of the parents that I perform for sort of understand that I come in with a level of expertise and I'm saying things for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I just try to pick out the most boring possible space for the kids.
Yeah.
So for instance, I don't usually pick out the toy room to do the show where it's choo-choo trains going by and and it just looks like a Toys R Us in there. I won't pick that room.
Yeah.
I'll pick like the living room where there's nothing really else in it except for the kids, myself, the parents usually stand in the back. And then it just creates a better tunnel focus for them.
Yep. Yeah.
And, if they want me to do the show outside and it's a nice day, it's no problem, but I won't do it necessarily right next to a bounce house, or I'll have them deflate the bounce house first.
Very smart.
Because you want to get ahead of the game before you start. Because if what happens is, so it's never to be, I don't want it to ever be difficult.
Yeah.
Parents, but now at this point in my career, and they come in, and they just kind of, know who I am when I come in. They know that that I'm recommending a particular spot just because I think the show will elevate. Being in that particular area.
No, it always cracks me up. Like if I bring in a plumber to my house and they suggest a thing, I'm not going to start micromanaging. I'm not going to be like, well, yeah, but here, I was thinking maybe you use schedule 80 instead of schedule 40 PVC. I actually don't know.
That's a great analogy. I never thought about
but that. I mean, like,
we tried this valve,
right? Yeah, like I'm not like even as much of a tinkerer as I am, right? If I am bringing in a professional who does this service all day, every day, and it is their full-time career, then I assume that if they are saying, okay, listen, can you move that stuff away from the water heater? Yeah. They're probably not doing it just because they're prima donna. They're probably doing it because there's a chance that stuff might get sprayed with water and I don't want it to get messed up,
Right.
But
it's so true.
So I'm surprised that people don't think about when they bring in an entertainer, it's just another service worker, but we also know our craft better than they do. You
do, man. You do. I just try to, I feel like if we take what we do seriously, then the parents will take what we do seriously. Like for instance, anybody you see on stage in like Vegas or David Copperfield, like there's certain things that they need for the show to be successful.
Yeah.
We're no different.
Yeah.
We might be in your house, but we need certain things that happen.
Sure.
You know, for instance, if I say no food or like I tell the kids, hey guys, go put the food on the table
Yeah.
before we start.
Sure.
It's not to be mean.
Right. Yeah.
The food is like kryptonite for a show.
Sure.
Man. Like
Yeah.
the kids are looking down and eating, or they're getting thirsty while they're eating and they're going to get something to drink. I mean, it is a night and day.
Yeah.
So I just don't allow food anymore. And it was and parents respect that because they know why, but it also, you know, so it's,
yeah, we're all on the same team. We all want the same thing. We want this show to be as awesome as possible.
Yeah.
And sure, sometimes you can't adjust the environment, but like
but it's not it's not a blue M&M's thing.
Right.
Like you walk in and be like,
exactly.
I'm going to do it in here, and I'm going to need some Perrier water.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
No. I mingle with the parents, and then
sure.
I'm you know, and I talk to them, and I say, look, I said, this is why I'm thinking about this room. I'll say, I just feel like I can create a better tunnel focus in this room than the trampoline room over here.
Yep.
Something like that. So.
And it's, I mean, it happens to me at corporate shows too, where less about distractions, but more about like, I'll get to some event and they're like, so we're thinking about having you see that stage way over there, and there's a ballroom in between, and then everyone, you know, like and now the good news is usually at a corporate event, I've been able to talk to people in advance and kind of give them a sense of like, all right, think about a theater, think about a comedy club. Like a comedy club is designed to maximize the laughter. So people are tightly together and they're near the front of the stage. There's no dance floor between you. It's not folks all spread out. And same thing with like a regular theater, you know.
That's interesting. I never even actually thought about it. And I love stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But I've never actually, you're absolutely right. I've never thought about the design of the room before.
Sure.
That's designed with a purpose as well.
I mean, and part of the purpose is to make as much money as possible. So we're going to cram as many bodies in while they're also able to eat and drink a little something. Like that's part of it.
But they'll also have each table that you're sitting at will sit like 8 or 10 people. So you maybe sit with people that you didn't even come with.
Sure. Yep.
And just to create that sort of jovial type of like, we all know each other, and they create that atmosphere before the comedian takes the stage.
No, and you're making those memories, and part of the memories might be the other people that you hung out with at that show, you know.
That's wow.
But I think you're doing the same thing just for 6-year-olds, you know.
Yeah. And it's just, well, the thing is, I've always had this philosophy that no matter what you have to do to get a perfect show, anything will, or not perfect, but you know what I'm saying.
Try for it
to get the show where you want, where you feel like you'll garner the best response from the kids and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
To get whatever you have to do to get to that point in a show is all going to be forgiven once the parents see the show. So like I've always had that philosophy. So I've said, listen, I may be asking the parents that, hey, I want to do it in this particular space right here, and I might maybe had it set up over here, and I may, ask that the kids don't eat during the show.
Yeah,
I may have, and I don't want the kids sitting on the couch for the show. I want them all sitting right here, and I have these things that are important for the show. But it's always been my philosophy that once the parents see their kids responding, they won't care what they have to do to get to that point.
I think that
and I've always kind of had my that's always been my
thing, sort of thing. And I wish you could do the A/B experiment where like the problem is they don't know how many pitfalls you helped them avoid, you know.
Right.
Like it's not like you could have shown them 2 shows like Christmas Past, like or your Christmas Future. Here's what it could have been, but thankfully we did this, you know. But that's okay. That's you know.
Yeah. This is before advice. This is the after advice.
Right. Yeah. No, we do. So, you do 2 separate shows for the same people. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it was one of the best things. 99% of the time. I mean 99.9. I'm like, hey guys, I was thinking about this room, or let's do it right here. Parents are in step with me.
Sure.
Like no worries.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, somebody will say, hey, we're really had a piano right here, and I could just see it's a distraction thing. But I'll usually, they'll usually go my way, and usually And every once in a while, like, you could just sort of see a parent just be like, I don't know, I really wanted you over here.
Sure.
But then the best feeling is when the parent afterwards, after the show, comes up to me, Peter, and she goes, you know what? You knew what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
kids, you had those kids every step of the way.
Yeah, good.
And you had their attention the entire time.
Yep.
And I like to have that feeling of just saying, all right, guys, you see, just trust me on this.
Yep.
And we're on the same team here.
Oh, yeah. Back to trusting the professional, the guy who does this hundreds of times a year, not, the parent who has hosted, at this point, 7 birthday parties ever,
Right.
And
this is literally all I know how to do. If you told me I need to go change the muffler on the car, I'd be like, Peter, I don't know how to do it. but this is the one thing I know how to do.
Sure.
Let me give you all advice on, like, when I'm in the house.
Totally.
Just hear me on this, y'all.
Yep. Yeah. So something else I wanted to talk about, which is sort of controversial is not the right word, but something that I think is really interesting that sets you apart is costume or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And I don't mean you're naked. I mean like you dress like just a regular guy showing up to a show. And I know, like, as a former child who was terrified of clowns, I think I think that too much emphasis does get put on what you're wearing.
Yeah.
But I was just sort of curious. I have seen photos of you. I'm not going to post them.
Yeah.
Photos of you wearing like a brightly colored vest, right? Like,
yes.
Tell me about that evolution.
Yeah, there was that phase one time. And I just, where sort of like when you think children's entertainers, you think about the guy in the colorful vest and the smiley face vest and things like that.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't want to, especially in this, very sensitive world right now, like, I don't want to offend anybody that might be wearing colorful vests and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it might work for them.
It might work for them.
Yeah, sure.
If they're a thing. I just didn't want to look like everybody else. I didn't
That's
want
cool.
to do that.
Yep.
And so one of the things I realized, and I also wanted to be relatable. So like at my shows, sometimes I'll mingle with the parents afterwards. I'll mingle with, I like meeting people. So I'll mingle a little bit. And I just felt like I could do that more if I looked like one of the parents myself.
Sure.
Like, because a lot of times if you come in and you're wearing the colorful vest and you're wearing the silly outfit and in the overalls or whatever, and you're talking to a parent, like, you don't really see a parent having a serious conversation or something like that. But with me, I don't know. They have this sense like they know me when I come to the party. I've been to a lot of these homes multiple years in a row, and they just feel like they know me because I'm a regular person that they can see doing regular things.
Sure.
Because a lot of times people don't know anything about their children's entertainers. They just, think that we, entertain, and then you never hear from them until the next party. I like to say, hey, I do the same thing. Facebook, hey guys, I'm at a Nationals game. Hey guys, I'm what I want. So I just wanted to be that sort of regular person that was good at their job, but didn't wear the gazillion glitter things that a lot of people do.
I think that makes sense, especially like with your age group, where what matters is more what you're doing, but not how you look when you're doing it. And even in terms of your props, like I always, your show case, like the container that you use to bring your show to a venue is literally just a piece of luggage. But like that, you have found that works best for you, and that it is not diminishing the quality of your show, especially in the eyes of a 4-year-old.
And I like, it's kind of fun for me to I'm the same no matter where I'm performing. Like I'll bring, like it's the same shtick, it's the same luggage, and like not name dropping or anything, but like for instance, I did a show at the DOJ the other day, and I'm walking in with my luggage and I'm costume and things like that for the prosecutor. But no matter where I am, it's the same shtick. I'm up it for the clientele or who it is. So
that's great.
I think that's one of the things that I've always it's always kind of a what you see is what you get. Like I'm not really that different outside of my shows than I am. I mean, I'm not sitting around watching a ball game with my friends, squirting them with a squirting toilet at night.
Yeah.
So there's a few differences.
That's a little disappointing, but okay.
There's a few differences. I'm not like, who needs to use the potty? And we're like, all my friends are like, dude, we're 52 years old.
I'm gonna go take a dump. That's what we say. We're grown ups.
So it's just, so that's just kind of my thing. I felt like I was just more relatable when I do that. But I'm telling you, like, I also am a fan of the game. I'm also a fan of people in this business. I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of. There's certain people that I'm a true fan of, and I see certain things working for certain people, and that's why it's a great business. Like you can always see how there's different flavors. And so. I've always been a fan of guys that will look at my show. I'm talking about guys in our business.
Yeah.
To look at our show and not say, maybe I will try to, not go in a costume like the great Zucchini does or whatever like that.
Yeah.
No, I've just wanted people to look at my show and say, why does it work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And why does it work? Like when I see you on stage, like, what makes you different, and what makes, I see the fact is, you could be doing a trick that, a couple other people could do, but you also, it's the package of the likability of the your charisma, your everything together that encompasses the performance that makes me. So I see things in a different way when I watch your performance than maybe just a regular viewer would be watching your thing. I'm looking at you like, I'm like, gosh, he really makes you want to pull for him the second he walks out on stage. Well, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think also like because you're sort of offering a stripped down show experience. I mean, we've all seen guys on stage who there's lights, there's sound, there's fog, there's lasers, there's dancing assistants, there are people pushing boxes around. And like, it seems like a big, impressive, awesome show. And then you also sort of think about like, well, what were they actually like? How do I know them? Do I get a sense that they're human, or like, could I literally just pull that guy out and plug another guy in and the show would be identical?
I remember just, that's a really good point. I remember one time I was watching an interview with Kevin Hart, which is probably he's probably got the top comedy tour in the world or something.
Yeah,
but he was saying that when he started out, he would go to shows and he was first starting out and he'd sell out like local arenas near New York and different places, and then somebody pulled him aside that was more experienced comic at this side and said, how do you think you did? And he's like, people were laughing. He's like, yeah, but the audience didn't know you out there. And so he didn't know you. The audience, they saw you perform. You told them nothing. You told them nothing about yourself. You told them nothing about, like, they don't feel like you know you. And so I obviously, I just wanted to give that sense of, hey, it's a friend coming to do our kid's birthday party. Yeah. And I just felt like, that's kind of what my whole demeanor was. Yeah. Like you brought up the Arlington Cinema Draft House, remember I just, read somebody post about that one time, and he's like, yeah, the great Zucchini was sitting at our table. I didn't even know who it was. Okay. This is coming from the dad. He was sitting there at our table, chilling out, talking with us. And he's like, oh, guys, I'll be back. And he jumped on stage to perform his show, and I had no idea he was a performer.
That's cool. That's quite the compliment, I think, right?
He had no idea that I was the one doing the show.
Okay.
Because I was just chilling at his table, eating lunch with him and his family.
Hanging out?
Before. Yeah. And I was like, all right, guys, hold on, let me jump up on stage.
I got to just do a real quick thing here.
Yeah, jump on stage. But I've just, I don't know. It's just, I've always just, because I want to get, I like getting to know my audience. Like getting to talk to the parents. I mean, they're interesting. It's like sometimes I'm a kid in a candy store. Like this one dad I remember was telling me about how he was one of the detectives going after John Gotti.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like an hour after my show. I was sitting there still talking to him, and his wife was walking behind, rolling her eyes. I'm like, I'm sorry, am I hogging up too much of the time?
Yeah.
And she's like, are you kidding me? He's been waiting to tell these stories again for years.
Sure.
he
That's
loves
cool.
it. But I was like a kid in a candy store sometimes talking to.
Yeah, no, I mean, being that one, and that's, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Sometimes I'll be on a lineup with a bunch of other entertainers, and sometimes those people are, I'll say clowns or those who identify as clowns, so somebody who is in that kind of a costume, and even the weirdest thing, I've had some clowns who will not drop character. Yeah. Where I'm talking with them backstage at a fair or festival, and I'll be like, I'm hoping, it looks like the rain hopefully will hold off, so I should be able to get my 3:00 in.
And then the rain too.
Right. And they're like, well, hey, don't worry, I've got my umbrella. And then like, what? No, I thought we were like colleagues here. Like, what are you, that's,
we can turn it off now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But even if they do turn it off, and even we're totally just talking shop, I still can't really take you seriously if you're in giant shoes and a bright red, whatever, like it does put up that barrier there.
It puts up a barrier.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It puts up a little barrier. And I just didn't want the barrier between, I just wanted the parents to just sort of see me, as a normal guy that, just came over and, sometimes I come over and they're like, hey man, I heard you were taking that beach trip. How'd that beach trip go?
Yeah, that's great.
And I love that.
Great.
I love that,
No, I think that's important. Again, humanizing us. And my costuming rule has always been, I want to be able to walk into a 7-Eleven after the show and not get weird looks.
Yeah.
Like I still have a certain look that fits the act, and I am trying to do that whole sort of turn of the last century, but at the same time, I want to be able to go grab a sub at Subway after the show.
I was just gonna say, you look sharp at your shows, but you look like you could have been anywhere, not just a magic show.
Yeah,
you could have been at a dinner party.
Sure.
You could have been, you could have been at a fancy function somewhere.
Yep.
You look like you could walk in any event.
Well, and I'm okay. Like, especially when you're doing like strolling magic, I think sometimes it is important to make it clear that this is your job. You're there, you're hired to do this thing. And sometimes the costuming is that, but I also don't, I think you can, and you just what you said at the very beginning about like the reason you were putting on a brightly colored vest is because you had seen guys before do that. And it's cool that you were able to sort of poke at that a little bit and be like, well, why? Like, what's just because other guys are doing it doesn't mean means I should.
So we're going to have 30 guys out here in colorful vests?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like, everyone's got to find their own path, So,
here's a little bit of news that I don't think I've disclosed.
Okay.
Like anywhere, maybe once a long time ago. But for about, to very few people. For about a month into my career, I was Dingbat the Clown.
Nice. Okay.
Dingbat the Clown.
Okay.
It was horrible. I was like, you think about Homie the Clown.
Okay.
Remember from In Living Color?
Yes.
He had like one dot right here, dot right here. I don't mean Homie the Clown in his mannerisms.
Sure.
Just meaning that I put no work whatsoever in my makeup attire. I had like a dot on each thing.
Amazing.
And I couldn't make balloon animals to save my life.
Sure.
You'd always hear a magician or you'd hear like I'd be at a convention with a real clown.
Yeah.
You'd always tell which kid went to him for like balloon animals or something because there'd be like the Empire State Building made out of balloons.
Right.
You could always tell which kid came to me.
Right.
They'd have like a dog, a dog balloon or something.
A worm.
You can see the kids like talking trash amongst themselves.
That's
like,
funny.
Don't go in that line, man. All he knows how to make a dog.
Sure.
So I was about a clown for a little bit.
That's awesome.
Before I was just trying to figure out that I just wanted to be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to connect with my audience and not have a whole lot of extra stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's. I mean, you've got to. you have to kind of try on a bunch of hats to figure out which one is going to fit. And so it's cool that we both found ours, but
yeah.
Well, if you want to invite the great Zucchini to come to your show, or actually, I bet you for the right price, you could have Dingbat the Clown come to your fair or festival.
He's $5.
So again, your website is thegreatzucchini.com.
Yes.
And then I helped you set up your Facebook page several years ago, and now you have almost 5,000 followers on it, which is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
So it's this fun little like pride thing. Like I'm the one who clicked go, and it's so cool to see that.
Well, I don't know
taking off.
I don't know how you I mean, there's no secret. I've told you this a gazillion times, but I'm technically challenged in every aspect of my world.
Sure.
And you just done wonders with my site. Whenever
I'm happy to help.
Whenever I have a question that I'm sure your average second grader knows, and you've never once made me feel like a fool for asking a question, because I'm like, Peter, seriously, man, what does this mean?
Right.
But I just appreciate it. Everything you've done with my site.
No, I'm happy. Well, like I said, there is a fun pride. Like it's, I love that it's fun following your social media presence, and you do. I mean, thankfully, you're a good follow because you've got photos and videos of kids just having a fantastic time. And so it is a fun, just getting a flavor of the sort of show that you're doing, even if our friend listening in on this is on the other side of the country and won't have an opportunity to see you live. Definitely check that out on Facebook.
No, I appreciate it. I knew, I'm glad that we have one friend listening.
That's good. We got one. thegreatzucchini.com or The Great Zucchini on Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast of the Impossible. If you want more of my public shows or social media or special projects and not Dingbat the Clown, you can head on over to oftheimpossible.com. I'm Peter Wood. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
All right.